Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to this last Traders Tea Time. Jake, what levels to watch out for? Well, for the remaining day of today and for especially next week. So yeah, but before we jump, and does not in any way constitute different, we throw out but for now let's have a look at the charts. Very important level here that we have. This is the all-time high for the FTSE, and of course, like I said, keep an eye on this one. This was this high here in January that we had, so now we can see that it's testing it from underneath and pushing away from it. So for now, we're gonna stay neutral on this. For us to become more bearish on this one, we would need to see a nice break here below this upwards moving trend line here that we had running since end of March. So for now, of course, we're like I said, we're going to stay neutral. We would need to see a nice break above this 77.90 in order to consider further upside moves. So like I said, guys, for this one, just keep an eye on the levels, keep an eye on these key levels. I mean, this could be something interesting happening here. So let's have a look at the DAX. Now the DAX is moving nicely away. Well, it moved yesterday nicely away from the psychological 13,000. Wasn't quite able to touch this other level that I was watching here, the 13,160. So kind of it was just shy a few points. And now we're also moving lower. We're in the red zone now, and certainly for now, all eyes are on the psychological 13,000. I mean, we could maybe see another test of that area if we continue pushing like this lower. So if we do get a nice break here below the 13,000, well, keep an eye on this bottom side of the rising channel formation that could be tested as well. On the upside, if we do get a nice break here above the 13,160, keep an eye on this next level, the next good level of resistance. That would be the 13,300. So that's quite important level to watch here. A break above that could continue DAX could continue its path inside this rising channel, and we could maybe even touch this 13,600 level approximately there, which was the high here in January this year. So for now, just keep an eye on this little range here between the 13,000 and 13,160. A break above here could open the path towards these higher levels that I've mentioned just right now, and yeah, a break below the 13,000, I mean, could lead towards this lower bound of the rising channel. So for now, keep an eye on this one. Probably from all the indices, looking at all the indices this week, I mean, probably the crown is taken by the Italian FTSE MIB. Now, this one is not feeling very well, let's say like that. I mean, we can see this downslide here for the past 3 days. Certainly yesterday we had a little kind of doji here forming, but today we're seeing a continuation to the downside. We're hitting this level here, this 23,420, something like that, approximately there. Now, certainly if we're going to stay above this level, we could maybe see a bit of retracement back to the upside, maybe just a little bit. And if we could draw something like maybe a trend line here, right, I do apologize for this, guys. Just a second, let me just adjust this quickly. Let me move this. So if we would draw something like start drawing this little trend line here, this downwards moving trend line, so eventually we could see a test of this one from underneath. If we get a nice bounce here from either this area here and then move a little bit higher. But if this area doesn't hold where it is right now, if this level 23,420 approximately there wouldn't hold, keep an eye on this lower one, this lower level right here, approximately at around 23,200, something like that. Could be a next good level of support. And if that doesn't hold, well, it is opening the path towards this this trend line right here that we had running since the 5th of March, something like that. So we could end up moving in lower here and testing that trend line. Maybe even we could see a little bounce here to the upside, but for now the first level that we're keeping an eye on is this 23,420, approximately there. Let's see where it wants to close today. Certainly there are some good levels on the upside, but to be honest, it's too early to talk about the upside on this index. Let's have a look at gold. Now gold is moving lower a little bit. It's currently below this this level of mine, which I've got marked here, this 1290 and 1290. So certainly we are at the moment below it. It is looking like a bearish signal right now, but to be honest, we need to see where this commodity wants to close today, because for now it's, I mean, it seems that it wants to continue pushing lower, but to be honest, we had a similar story yesterday where it looked like it made a move lower and actually took out the Wednesday's lows, and but then actually reversed back above and closed above the 1290. So for now we're gonna stay very cautious in this one, and let's just keep a close eye on where it wants to close today. Certainly we do have the nice psychological level of 1300 above us here, above that price right now, so could get a test, but probably that's something for next week. Looking at the euro, now the euro is selling off nicely and we're moving lower here. It seems like it's aiming towards this level right here, towards this 117, 150 approximately there. So keep an eye on this one, guys. I mean, we could end up touching that. Certainly the question here is today, well, is it going to be today or is it going to be for something for next week? Anything can happen, to be honest. I mean, it would be interesting to see a touch of this area today, because that would be just a perfect finish for this week, and we could maybe bounce off of it a little bit. Certainly, like I said, it would be an ideal scenario, but well, then again, the market never does what we want it to do, so just keep an eye on this one first. Certainly at the moment it is looking bearish. I mean, we are currently at the Wednesday's lows here, so if we'll continue pushing lower, yep, this we could end up moving lower here towards this 117, 150 approximately there. If we suddenly get some sort of reversal and a surprise reversal back to the upside, keep an eye on this 118, 200 level approximately there. A nice move above this could indicate that this pair is actually, well, the euro is kind of still trying to fight the dollar, and we could maybe test this downwards moving resistance line here from underneath, and maybe eventually we'd see a break above it. But to be honest, I don't think that this scenario, this idea could happen today. Maybe this is something for next week. So for now, probably let's aim for this downside first. Let's see if we are going to touch this 117, 150. Let's have a look at the GBP USD, and a similar story on the pound against the dollar, and the pound is moving here towards this 134.55 area that I have got highlighted here. Acted as a good level of support. So the question here is, of course, you probably understand, are we going to get a close below or not? And certainly it would be interesting to see a close, because we could next week, this could open the path towards this level right here, this nice beautiful number of 133. So if we do get a break below here, the 134.55, and we do have a close below that, there is a strong chance that we could end up moving towards this 133 level next week, but definitely not today. If we bounce off of this again, if we bounce off of this 134.55, well, watch out for this level right here, the 136 150, 136.15. Let's shorten it up a little bit. Watch out for this level. Certainly for that we would need to overcome this 200 EMA first. Probably could act as a good initial area of resistance, but if we do overcome that, watch out for this level, the 136.15, and a break above that could open the path towards this little level right here at around 137.10, so approximately there. So for now, keep an eye on this one. Of course, the upside is kind of, well, it's off the table for now probably, and these higher levels, probably this is something for next week. For now, all eyes are on the 134.55. Let's have a look at the USD JPY quickly, and the USD JPY is struggling with the 111 level. Certainly we would need to see a nice close above that in order to consider further upside moves towards this 111.500. We could, if we do get a nice push here above the 111 mark, and a close above the 111 mark, so keep an eye on this 111.500, but probably again something for next week. It's doubtful that we might get a touch of it today, so still keep an eye on this 111 level. If we reverse suddenly from this one, then the next probably good level of support could be this recently broken, or I should say yesterday broke, the level that was broken yesterday, the 110.500 approximately there, could act as initial good bouncing ground. But if it doesn't hold, I mean, we do have some better levels right here, the 110.200 and even the psychological 110 level, which coincides right now with the well, at this point right here, it coincides with the bottom side of the rising channel for now. So for now, keep an eye on this, keep an eye on the 111. Let's quickly have a look at the USD CAD. Probably took the show, took the spotlight today, stole the show, I would say, today. So now we're seeing this nice bounce here after the Canadian data came out. We're seeing that the Canadian dollar is weakening, and this morning I was talking about this one. I was telling you guys to keep an eye on this level right here, the 128. There was a point where we actually slightly moved below the 128, but then we had a nice, once the data came out, we had a nice pop here in the USD CAD, and we've hit the 129 level. So a nice jump here. Certainly I'll probably repeat myself as with the previous pairs. Keep an eye on the close today. It will be interesting to see if we're going to get a close above the 129 or not. If we do get a close above the 129, then there is a strong likelihood that we could probably move towards this 129.500. Certainly the question here is, would that be today or not? I doubt that it would be today. Maybe if we get a nice move here above the 129, we could maybe push towards, at least towards the 129.250, something like that. But the 129.500, that would be something, let's say, well, this would be looking really bad for the Canadian dollar. So for now, all eyes are on the 129, and if we do get a close below, I wouldn't say that this is going to be a reversal sign, but we could see a bit of retracement maybe to the downside, and then another charge of from the bulls towards this 121.29 level, and then a break, eventually a break and a push higher. But that's the scenario that I'm thinking, one of these scenarios that could happen, let's say like that. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. If you want to join me next week on Monday on my Traders Espresso at 7 o'clock British Summer Time, 6 o'clock GMT time. But for now, I hope you have a good remaining US session, and I hope you have a good weekend. Thank you very much, guys. Bye bye.